I am doing a super random Q&A session for you guys. I've been hammering away at the office, and I figured, you know what? I'm going to start doing a lot more recording of video and just documenting behind the scenes. So I'm just going to start flipping my camera on since I'm here at my computer anyways. I'm just going to flip my camera on, continue to do some of my work, and do some Q&A session with you guys. So if you guys are okay with that, let me know. How's everyone's Thursday going so far? David asks, what's the best item to resell? I've got a really good one for you. Whatever makes money. There's profitable items in every single category, so there's no one best item to sell. It's really just going to be whatever category that you love, whatever category you want to focus on, and whatever makes you money. Let's party! Ah, Lotus Flower, hi from Bermuda. I want to go to Bermuda. Awesome. Welcome in, guys. I figured I'm just going to turn my camera on and BS around with you guys. So how about that? All right. I've got to ask, is it Pirate's Prayer or Pirate Sprayer? Could go either way. We got DC in the house. Where's everyone watching from? I haven't done one of those shout outs in a while. Where's everyone watching from right now? I'm always curious. And if you guys did not see already, about an hour ago, something like that, finally got around to editing and uploading my Goodwill hunting electronics video because everyone keeps asking about that electronics account. And I'm getting it primarily from thrift stores and Goodwills, Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, and Craigslist. Those are my top 5 sources for electronics and toner. So everyone kept asking, what do I look for when I go into stores, especially Goodwills? So I did a whole 36-minute video, something like that, 36-minute video. And I could have cut that down to probably like a 10-minute video if I just cut out the walking around, stuff like that, and I just did the bullet point thing. But I think you guys can agree. I mean, you can disagree too, whatever. Would you guys agree that you enjoy more of the behind the scenes, like in the stores, you guys get to see my thought process type videos? Or do you like the 5 to 10 minute, just bullet point, done type videos? Because I'm going to put out both styles, but I'm always curious to see what you guys enjoy best. But I think we can all agree, like behind the scenes stuff, like right now, I'm working here at the computer anyways. I just flipped my computer on, my webcam on. Mark, I use a Logitech Brio, and the clarity that you've seen the difference in lately is because I finally got an Ethernet cable. I don't know why I didn't do this years ago, but I got an Ethernet cable and I hardwired it to my computer from my router. So now I have like 240, I think it's 200. I just did the speed test earlier, 240 megabytes a second download speed and almost 30 upload. So that's double what I had before just going off my regular Wi-Fi network. So that made a huge difference. But I do use the Logitech Brio for webcam, and I use the, you guys can see here, good old Blue Yeti. I want to get the black one. I see a bunch of Florida. I see Scotland. That's cool. We got Tennessee. We got Washington State just north of me. I'm going to be driving through Washington. I think we're like 2nd or 3rd week of February. P.S. I'll just throw a couple of things out there. If you're in the Seattle area, Trista and I are going to do a thrifting road trip from Portland to Seattle. It's 4 hours. It's 3 hours from Portland. We're an hour south of Portland, so 4 hours for us. We're going to do a thrifting trip around Seattle for a couple days in 2nd or 3rd week of February. And then on top of that, Wade's Venture and I are going to be co-hosting an epic bowling resellers night here in the Northwest. So in Portland, Oregon, if you're in the area and you happen to catch this, shoot me an email. I'm getting an event page and all that kind of stuff put together so we can get a head count. So that one's going to be a blast. We're booking out this entire bowling alley. It's going to be sweet. So if you're in either Seattle area, we will do an official dinner meetup, or if you want to come to the actual bowling / resellers event that we're putting on, just email me, chaz@sidehustlepros.com. My email was in the link in the description below as well. Love to meet some of you guys too. That's my favorite part about traveling, by the way, is I literally could just on Instagram here on YouTube just say, hey, I'm going to be in this town at this time eating dinner, and people show up. Like, that just blows my mind every single time. I love it. All right, sweet. So as the title states, random Q&A session, go. I am here to help you guys out with your questions if I have the answers. And on top of that, I'm just doing a little bit of work, so don't mind me while I do some clicks and stuff. Kind of give you guys some insight. I've been doing vlogs again, by the way, so I've been recording. We just got a wholesale order come in, so we've got shoes and clothing all up and down these two tables, 200 units. It's going to be a really, really sweet flip, so I'm going to be documenting some of that. Crossed off yet because I tackled the most time-consuming ones first. So the time-consuming ones took me 3 full days to get done. And then today we did a lot of physical deep cleaning in the office to make room for this wholesale order. We've got more wholesale stuff coming over the next 3 weeks. And then I get to tackle the rest of that stuff tonight and tomorrow as well. So if you guys do not work from some type of checklist, I'm telling you, like, you want focus. I'm really big on 2 things right now. You want focus in your life and your business, create a dedicated workspace. I don't care if it's a small table with a computer, just create a dedicated workspace. Get off the couch. I'm telling you, from someone who used to work solely from the couch on my computer, get off the couch, have a dedicated workspace. You will get way more done in the same or less amount of time. And then 2 is work from a checklist. I don't care if it's a whiteboard. I don't care if it's a digital format like your computer or your phone. Just follow some type of checklist. It will keep you focused. Even better, too, is if you set a timer for each thing that you're working on. So if you're working on something, but then next thing you know, 5 minutes in, you're like, oh, look, I got an Instagram notification. I'm just going to scroll right here. Like, you can't do that stuff. You got to get focused to get more done. All right, so I'm going to hit some questions. I've got 0 agenda for tonight. I just want to hang out with you guys. Oh, we got Southern Oregon in the house. What is up? I actually need to do a Southern Oregon trip. I have not been south of Eugene ever to source, so I need to get down there. Workout routine. Super broad question, so be a little more specific with that. Like my personal workout routine, or are you looking for guidance? I need a little bit more info on that. Do you need an Amazon account for the FBA app? Yes. Because when you open up the app, it's going to have you log in, so you need a seller's account in order to do that. Thanks, Joey. Yeah, in the haul video, if you guys just watched that, it was just put up like an hour ago. Trista was so excited because Trista has not been in videos with me for a while, but now she's wanting to get back into it for you guys. And she was so excited to go do this Goodwill hunting trip video. And after the first store, we got that phone call and little man was down sick. But luckily it was only, and that was filmed 2 weeks ago. It was right before we went on our trips to DC and Salt Lake City. So 2 weeks ago is when that was filmed, but it was a 24-hour bug, luckily. You were born in Portland. Nice. You guys want a random Chaz fact. And I may do, like when I do giveaways in the future, just keep this one in mind because I might ask a question in a giveaway and this will be one of the questions. I was actually born in Alaska. Cool stuff is when you start hiring people to go out and buy for you. And then the last method is you just have to be willing to go drive. And sadly, that's what I did all 2018. I spent way too much time driving around for the amount of income that we brought in. And it's definitely working hard. It's a hustle and it creates a job for yourself. And I'm not a fan of that anymore. I love the hunt. I love the retail arbitrage hunt. Don't get me wrong. I love to get a message or an email or check a website and I see a deal and I check stocks and I can see I can go pick up 20 of them. I love that high of in the moment, like I got to go and then you go and find them. I love that. I don't love relying on it as a sole source of income because then I'm forced to be on the road 20, 30, maybe even 40 hours a week during Q4, busy time. But being on the road 20 hours a week, I'd rather be here at the office and make my phone calls or do my clicks and do my orders that way and then be able to clock out tonight. I'm literally going to clock out of here at like 6:30 and I'm going to go drive home and I'm going to spend time with my family. Like last year, I didn't do that a whole lot. And that was a big, not really failure because it was a learning experience. But last year I spent way too much time here at the office or way too much time out driving around finding product. And I did not spend as much time on personal life, hobbies, activities, my health, my fitness. All of that slid away because I was just hustling all last year and just working basically my own job I created for myself. And this year I'm trying to get a lot more efficient with my time. So I'm able to go have fun and enjoy life. I mean, that's what we're all doing this for, is time freedom. But are you really creating time freedom if you're slaving away 12 hours a day? Which trust me, you've got to do that at some point. There's definitely late nights and early mornings. Don't get me wrong, but as you scale, you'll learn more how precious your time is and how precious the, family, hobbies, personal, like mental breaks, all that kind of stuff plays into it. We sell primarily on Amazon and eBay. Yeah, that's it. I was going to try to throw in like Mercari and all those other things this year, but you know what? I'm the type person that if I start adding too much on my plate, I get really spread out and overwhelmed, and I really get so spread out that I don't focus on anything. And that's a bad position to be in, because that's what I've done in the past years. So this year it's like Amazon, eBay are my ball game, and I'm just going to focus on those, put my blinders on. We also do have our little retail store. It's like 400. It's not huge at all. It's a 400 square foot space that is primarily used clothing, and we're throwing in some like kitchen items and stuff like that. And that's open to the public. So it's an actual public retail store. So that's my brick and mortar that I can put on an application for wholesale. So it's kind of a win-win on that. How do I stay motivated to work out? I'm tired all the time. I love this question, because here's my answer. I used to struggle with this a lot. Do not wait until you feel motivated to work out. I love that game. I love the personal training side, and I miss it dearly. Like one of my goals in life still is to open up my own gym. I just want a small studio gym. I don't want a big Globo gym or anything like that. I just want to own my own gym and train a few clients a week on my own time. And because I love it. Once you have the passion for training people and seeing them literally change their life in a physical and mental way, you just can't beat that. So with that being said, I had a client one time, and she came to me and she's like, I have really bad knees. They hurt all the time. And I told her to do a squat. And she said, no, you don't understand. I can't do a squat because my knees hurt. And I flipped it on her. I'm flipping it the same way I'm going to tell you in a minute. I flipped it on her. I said, your knees hurt because you don't squat. And with the physical body, your joints are meant to be put through full range of motion. That's why you have these joints there, right? You got hinge joints, saddle joints, all these different little joint names. You're supposed to put your body through full range of motion. That's what they're there for. So if you are not putting them in full range of motion, they have no reason to stay elastic, right? That's just a term that's thrown around out there. But they have no reason to stay loose. So what they do is they tighten up all the muscles, the tendons, ligaments, everything tightens up because you're not giving it a reason to stay flexible and loose. And guess what? I started having her just starting a little bit down at a time, grab onto a doorknob, squat down, and she built her way up to being able to put weight on her back, full range of motion doing squats. Same thing if we're talking about I don't feel motivated to work out, therefore I don't. You're waiting to have energy. It's not going to work that way. You've got, it sucks to say, but you've got to force yourself to get up and start doing daily exercise, because through doing daily exercise, you're going to gain energy out of that. And you reach a point where I don't go a day without moving my body in some form. All right. I don't lift weights every single day, but I lift weights about 3 days a week. And then the other 3 days, because I alternate, the other 3 days will be some form of cardio. And even on my rest day, I'm still doing some yoga or something to move my body, wake my brain up in the morning. I don't start my day until I move my body. Like if I decide to sleep in till 8, I'm still not going to come here to the office until I get my exercise in, because I now get energy from it. But it's not going to be that way in the beginning. You're going to be sore. You're going to be tired. You're going to be hungry. If you're trying to lose weight and you're eating a little bit less, you're going to be hungry. But it really comes down to just build the consistency in the habits, and you will find your energy that way. Trust me. Don't sit around and not do it because you don't have the energy. You create the energy through doing it. And a lot of that relates to the business side, because I know some people are just like, oh shit, he's talking about freaking fitness again. This always correlates to business. Okay. If you don't feel like doing something in your business, right? You don't feel like making the phone calls. You don't feel like putting in the research on your products or whatever you're doing. If you don't feel like going out and sourcing because you're not motivated, it doesn't work that way. You go out and do it, and you create motivation out of that because you start seeing results from it. That's just how it works. And that's something that took me a long time to wrap my brain around. So now anytime I find myself like, oh, I'm not motivated to do X, I just tell myself, like, do it. And through doing it, you're going to get reinvigorated to keep doing it again. That's just my personal take on it. Do I have a Walmart? I do have a Walmart. It's a small one. It's not one of those super Walmarts that some of you guys got. It's definitely a small one, which, you know, it's good or bad. Sometimes they don't get shipped out certain items because it's a small Walmart and it's kind of out of the way. But then other times I find some great deals in there because no one wants to drive an hour to come out to my little Walmart. So it's a hit or miss sometimes. All right, let me scroll back up, get some questions in for you. Awesome. Real Talk Mentor, appreciate the super chat there. Much appreciated. What if you aren't very social? Can you still do this? Absolutely. I was talking to somebody the other day about this. I don't remember who it was. I was talking to somebody and this exact conversation got brought up. I'm curious. Comment below. I'm curious what your take is on this. I have a theory, and I have no way to prove it, but I have a theory that most resellers, and I'd even stretch to say business owners, are introverts. Like at our core, even myself, I am an introvert at my core. And I know that's like, some people are like, yeah, but you come off like you're enthusiastic and you love, you know, to be out there like an extrovert, which is true. But I look at it as like it was Ashley, Hustle at Home Mom. We were talking about this in Salt Lake City. I'm the type person that I'm an introvert at my core, which means that doesn't mean I don't like being around people. I love being around people, but I've got like a certain battery level on me, right? So if I'm out, and you guys, if anyone's been to any of our meetups that we host, you know, these dinner meetups, so these things can go for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours long. Okay. And you can probably tell if you ever meet me in person and we're hanging out for like 5 straight hours, I hit a point after like 3 hours where my battery is drained and I need to like retreat and recharge. Okay. So I think most people that are in this business are introverts. So you don't have to be a people person necessarily to do this business. I think a lot of people are not, you know, you can call it antisocial, you can call it introvert, whatever. It's all, you know, in my head, it's all the same, just different terms. But you can absolutely still do this if you are not like an extreme extrovert at all. How do you understand the rankings without paid apps and professional Amazon account? Keepa. Some of you guys are still sleeping on Keepa. KEEPA.com. Literally do not watch another YouTube video about reselling. And if you're in Amazon, if you're in eBay, that doesn't count. But if you want to do Amazon, FBA, or Merchant Filled, do not watch another YouTube video. Do not open your Instagram until you look up Keepa and learn the basics on how to read that chart. That shows you everything you need to know about every product on Amazon. How's the fitness going for the new year? It's going phenomenal. I am on such a freaking high. I haven't even been drinking coffee the last couple of days. Like I've been in such a consistent routine over the last several weeks. I've actually got if you guys are on my Instagram, I've actually got a 2-week progress photo I'm going to post on my IG stories. And I'm down 8 pounds in the last 2 weeks. That's through traveling, by the way. We went to DC. Both were for weddings, so I was around a lot of good food, and I was very strict. Through DC, through Salt Lake City, and then I'm now on 4 days at home. I dropped 8 pounds, and I just feel phenomenal. So I've already signed up for Spartan Race in August. I'm going to sign up for probably 2 more Spartan races this year. I want to do a 5K and a 10K coming up in the next like 8 weeks. I have not ran more than a mile in about 2 years, so this should be fun. But it's part of setting a goal and a deadline because it forces me to start taking action today. A lot of people make the mistake of they set a goal, but they don't put a deadline on it. So what happens is you keep pushing it off and procrastinating because we're human. We love to procrastinate. But if you put a deadline on something, it forces you to stay accountable to your actions today. So I'm a big fan of putting deadlines on stuff. And I did that in my fitness. I told myself I wanted to get back into not just the best shape I used to be in. I want to be 10 times that. I want to be in the best shape I've ever gotten into in my life this year. And I set those deadlines, which for me is obstacle races. I love Spartan races. I've done 7 of them, love them to death. And it sets me to be accountable for today. So I've been showing up every morning. I think part of this too is I've been very consistent with waking back up at 6 a.m. again, which I never did all of 2018. I'm back up at 6 a.m. every day. And I'm telling you guys, don't know the science behind it, but if you get your butt up early every day, there is something in your brain that clicks and you have a stupid amount of energy. I'm going to bed earlier. Don't get me wrong. I'm usually passed out by like 10 p.m. most nights now, unless I, for some reason, am working late, which I did this week. But even if I'm going to bed at midnight, I still wake up at 6. I may be tired for like 10 minutes, but once my brain's on, it's on, and it's go time. I feel great. So that's kind of where I'm at today. Yep, Keepa, K-E-E-P-A. It appears that you offer free shipping with your eBay listings instead of the buyer paying. Do you feel that makes a big difference? I have no idea. I'm always transparent with you guys. I've never actually ever tested the buyer paying shipping. And I'm very intrigued to, not everyone's going to agree with that. And that's totally fine. I'm not here to make friends with everybody. But if you haven't, and that goes for anything, not just OA stuff, but if you have an understanding on how to do it yourself first, it makes you really appreciate the efficiency of having a service doing stuff for you. It's the same thing as if you have to go in every single week, and this is what I used to do. Every Sunday, I would sit down for about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, and I would manually cross-check all my Amazon inventory and reprice my stuff accordingly. And it took a lot of time over, I don't even know. I did that for probably 2 years. And then I signed up for a repricer, and I had a whole new appreciation for it because I understood what it took to do it myself. I definitely had a whole new appreciation for it. Oh no, someone said we're breaking up. Can you guys still hear me okay? Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. My internet was a little spotty today, so I really hope it's not cutting out right now. Oh man. All right. I think we're still live. We may be lagging a little bit. Let me see what I can do for you. All right. And if you guys are still watching this and you can hear me, I apologize for the delay. I'll try to switch something up on here, see if we can make that work. Da, 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 da. All right, I think we're back up. We should be smooth sailing now. All right, are we back on? Are we good? Smooth-ish? All right, cool. We'll roll with it. We will roll with it. All right, everything look. I mean, I think we just had a hiccup in my connection, but everything looks good now, so we'll keep going. All right, sweet. Mark said he likes the videos that show how they evaluate the products. Yeah, and that's the type of stuff I'm trying to get back into because I used to do a lot more of that. And then I just started doing these live Q&A sessions, which these are fine for people like these, but they're not the like step-by-step in the store showing you stuff. Who texts me? I just saw somebody text me on that. Oh, that's funny. It was Melissa. All right, cool. Thanks, Melissa. Yeah, it looks like we cut out for a minute. All right, sorry. We're back up and running now. Yeah, something, I don't know what it was. My connection was spotty a couple times today, so it's not the first time. All right, I'm going to scroll back up. I think I missed a few questions up here. Yeah, so going back to that topic, not just for OA stuff, but learn how to do it yourself first. So you can have a better understanding how it all works, and then it makes you appreciate when it's a service that does it for you. Whether it's a repricer that reprices all your stuff, a feedback service that tries to get customer feedback done for you. In my case, it's online arbitrage leads. We pre-filter them for you and then give you a nice 10 to 12 leads per day. So it's over 50 leads per week that are given to you. And of course, you still need to cross-check and do your research on each of those. But instead of having to filter through 200 from a scan from Tactical Arbitrage, that's done for you, and you're given 10 to 12 that you do your final checks on. But again, if you guys want more info on that, chaz@sidehustlepros.com. We're going to be pushing out some Facebook ads and all that stuff. So I can tell you right now, the spots will fill up quick. We have 2 groups right now. They're active, and we cap them at 30 each. So if you want in on that, I would probably message ASAP before those ads get pushed out and we fill up. How do you get into wholesale? I mean, there's so many ways to go with that. It's kind of a broad question, but you get into wholesale, and it depends specifically. You're talking eBay or Amazon. They're both pretty similar, just minor differences. But in general, you can do it a few ways. One, you can, if you want to sell a certain brand. So if you want to sell Hasbro, right, go to Hasbro.com, email them and ask them what the requirements are to open up a wholesale account. A company that big, the bigger the brand, the harder it is to work directly with the manufacturer level and the brand. So what they're going to do is they say, we don't offer wholesale accounts currently, but here's a list of distributors. And then you go after the distributors, and that's how you work your way doing that. So you can work, that's how you look from a brand to the manufacturer level and try to go that way. And then another great way, one of my favorite ones that I'm focusing on, is trade shows. So anyone going to ASD, by the way, in Vegas next month, ASD is a trade show that goes on. Well, it's not a traditional trade show. It's kind of like a high-end flea market, to be honest. A lot of liquidators are just getting rid of overstock stuff. And it's not going to be a traditional wholesale trade show like some of the other ones, where it's the brands themselves, sitting there working with people. It's a lot of middlemen that are just liquidating excess inventory. But with that being said, one of my best wholesale accounts came from ASD. So there are legit people there. But I'd be curious if anyone's going. I just am finalizing plans tonight and tomorrow. I will be going to ASD this year for a full, probably 4 days. And on top of that, we're going to be hosting a Vegas meetup. So if you guys want info on that, just stay tuned. I'll do a post. I'll do another YouTube video for it when it's all done. But trade shows are going to be one of the best ways you can do wholesale. And then Google. And here's another one too, is with Google, don't just look up random distributors around the US. Look for distributors in your local area. So one way I found a distributor here is type in, just go to Google around your area maps and look up grocery distributor, and you'll find grocery distributors in your area. And that can rabbit trail into other businesses you may not even know are around you. How much money do I make per year? I make enough to live on. We're not in any means wealthy, right? You see all these private label gurus flaunting the Facebook ads and stuff like that. We're not doing the guru level money. But we do make enough with our reselling business to pay our bills for the year, pay for the warehouse, our employee, and then the rest gets put back into inventory. We live pretty minimally. Towards the end of the year, 2018, I splurged a little bit. So I bought my whole desk setup was my splurge of the year. And then the traveling stuff is all a business expense. So the business pays for that. But yeah, we live pretty minimally. So we don't have a ton of extra cash just laying around in the bank account. I don't know what people think when they see YouTubers oh, they must just have a bank full of cash. Most of us don't, because it's in investments. And in this case, in reselling, it's product. So I literally pull the amount that we need from the business to pay for our baseline bills for the month, and then credit cards and all that kind of stuff. And whatever's left, right back into inventory. And that's just how we're going to scale this year. I'm experimenting with wholesale. I'm about to go through middlemen because they have the 2 items I'm looking for. Is it a good idea, bad idea? Yeah, do it. It doesn't matter if it's coming from the middleman, which is a distributor, or from the manufacturer themselves. As long as it's profitable, go for it. But keep in mind, if you're working through a middleman, they're going to have their own markup. So there's a good chance that there's not a lot of stuff to be found. But there are middlemen. I work with a distributor I found at ASD that they've given me some amazing leads that we've made money on. So they're out there. They're not going to be easy to find, but they're definitely out there. Going to Toy Fest. That's the one is that the New York one, the Toy Fair? Or is that a different one? Because I know a few people that went last year to the New York one, and I would love to get up there. What's up, Jason? Got some of our VIP people rocking in here. What do you mean by business expense? Meaning you can write it off? Yes. So when I typically travel, unless it's for like recently in DC, that was for our sister's, my sister-in-law, Trista's sister's wedding. So I can't deduct, the wedding flight and stuff like that. But if I fly out to a conference, absolutely deductible. And of course, I have to say, anytime I talk about tax stuff, you got to talk to your CPA and go with that. Was worried about authenticity. If it's a legit distributor that has an itemized breakdown on your invoice that shows UPC and all that, you're good. Amazon just doesn't want you buying shit from Goodwill anymore and sending it to Amazon. And then let's say you sell a used Sony Walkman on Amazon. If a customer complains about that, let's say they think it's fake, Amazon's going to come at you and say, we need proof of purchase. And guess what? If you give them a receipt from Goodwill that says yellow, or it will say electronics yellow $2.99, that's not going to fly on Amazon. Not anymore. Vegas the week before ASD. Yeah, if you guys are going to be at ASD, I'm going to be throwing together a meetup, so I'll get a video posted. I'll just do a little 5-minute video for you guys. What are your PC specs? If you know, did you build it or pre-built? Here's where we're gonna have some people commenting on this one. Let's bring out the trolls. I am a fan of Macs, and here's my story. I grew up my entire life with PCs, and the second that I ended up getting an actual Mac, I can't go back to PC. So I did focus on, and I have a little bit of computer background too. So what I did was I went with a 2012 MacBook Pro, because 2013 and beyond that, the newer ones, everything is soldered down to the board. So you can't customize anything in the newer MacBook Pros. So 2012 or older, you're able to swap the RAM, the hard drive, all that stuff. So I did put, here's like the basic specs, 16 gigs of RAM, and most of them will come with 4. So I upgraded to 16 gigs of RAM. It's got the i7 2.3 gig for the Intel Core. I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad. It works for what I do. And then I upgraded, actually literally today it got delivered. Tomorrow I'm going to upgrade to a 1 terabyte hard drive, and that's an SSD. And if you guys don't know, if you have a hard drive that you're running on, go to an SSD. Lightning quick. Trust me, your computer will be a different one. So those are like all the little upgrades that I did. Right now I'm running, it just has 256 gigs SSD, but for storing videos, I'm always running out of space. So that's why I got the terabyte hard drive. So I'm going to install that tomorrow. And it's the first time I've ever installed the hard drive part myself. So I'm going to film the whole thing and do like a tutorial video how to do that. Oh man, here we go. So what happens when I don't have moderators? All right, hold on. We got to delete some people. All right, we're good. We had a troll. Every live, there's going to be a troll. All right, so those are my little computer specs I got. But with that being said, I'm probably going to upgrade to an iMac. So if you guys aren't Mac users, you have MacBook Pro, which is the laptop, and then the iMac is the typical like regular, everything's built into one screen, the big one. So I was looking at a 2013 iMac, and instead of having 16 gigs of maxed out RAM, I'm able to have 32 gigs and just ridiculous hard drive. Graphics are better, and it's literally going to be the same price as what my laptop was. So I think I'm going to make that upgrade too. Not right this second, but probably within the next like month or so, I'll probably make that jump and get that. And I've been testing a theory because my thought was I need a laptop to bring with me, but I've left my laptop here at the office for the last 4 days. I've never needed to move it or bring it home with me because I'm trying not to like work when I'm home. I'm trying to just be there in the, you know, in the moment with family and stuff. So I don't have any problem having just my regular stationary computer here at the office. And then I'll get like a Surface Pro or some type of little, you know, a little iPad or something like that I can bring on the go when I need it. Yeah, I'm telling you, Nathan did it too. I was born diehard, lived my whole life PCs. But I tell you what, one thing I have never had to see on my Mac, and I've had this for the last, I want to say 3 years or so, I have never once had a single issue. No random pop-ups, no needing to update all my crap, no virus software things. Like I've never had to deal with any of that stuff. It's just been great. It's been lightning quick, very smooth. The only issues I have are when I max out my storage because I have too many videos on there. And that's why I'm upgrading the terabyte tomorrow. What do you guys think about the new shipping prices going up for USPS first class is over a 10% raise? Here's what I think about it. I don't care. I'm still going to use them. And here's the thing. It shouldn't be a shocker to anyone that prices are going to go up on fees and shipping pretty much every year. I can promise you one thing. USPS, Amazon, eBay, no one next year is going to be like, you know what? Let's just decrease our fees or let's keep them the same. They're always going to go up. And that's just going to happen every single year. And it's just part of your business. If you cannot pivot and adapt with it, then you can't, like being a business owner is not going to be for you. And that's just the harsh truth. Because I used to sit here and like bitch and moan and complain about all of the fee increases and all that kind of stuff. And it's such a small thing to focus your time and energy on. Is not even worth it. Was just watching your Goodwill video. Can you please tell me what eBay app you used? Just the regular eBay app. That's it. There's no fancy, like there's not a special sourcing app. It's just the regular eBay app. What category do you find the hardest to make a profit in and recommend staying away from? It's a good question. I've not actually thought about that one before. I mean, I have the categories I don't like because I don't know them. So I'm going to say like clothing is way more saturated than other categories. And it's not in any way to, I mean, I've just got a wholesale order of shoes and clothing, right? We're still going to sell shoes and clothing, but your average sell price is a lot lower than what I like, which is electronics and toner and that kind of stuff. Your average sell price is going to be a lot lower. There's a lot more competition. But there's a flip side. You've got higher return rate on electronic stuff. And when you get a return on electronics, it's definitely a little bit more painful when you have to return like a $100 VCR versus like a $20 shirt. I don't have any, I really don't have an answer for that. It's a good question though. Which category do you find it hardest to make a profit? I mean, there's profit in every single category, but I really don't have like a clear answer for it. How do you convince your parents to park outside and use their garage as my warehouse? Digging your content, you have helped me out. That's awesome. How do you convince your parents to park outside and use their car as my garage as a warehouse? It's a similar answer to what I gave somebody, was it 2 days ago? I was live here and somebody asked, how do I convince my wife to get on board? And I said, it's all driven by results. Same thing here. If you show your parents that you can make $1,000 profit, like literally make your $1,000, pull it out in cash and show them, I made this money. In order to make more of this, I need the garage space. So I think if you show them proven results, I think they will take it a little bit more serious. Yeah, apparel, footwear, accessories, because the Chinese have this market conquered. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Cell phone accessories. That's probably one category I've tried to sell in a few times, but cell phone accessories, because the Chinese market just completely demolished it. So that's definitely a tough one. Do I ever come to Florida? Yes. I'm actually I need to reach out. I have a buddy of mine that lives in Fort Myers, and we haven't seen each other in a few years. So I'm actually probably going to book a trip out to Fort Myers this year. And of course, since I'm going to Fort Myers, you've got Tampa is just north of that, which is of course where Ryan and Allie are at. So I think I'm going to try to hit them up and crash their place for a night. We'll see. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I would love to do a Florida trip this year. Why do people in Facebook group keep bringing up gated categories? I've been allowed to sell in every single category that I've attempted. Is Amazon gating brand newbies from specific categories? Yes. Typically, it's going to be a few categories. Sometimes it's going to be the brands, but they're definitely getting more strict on new accounts. And it's part of the switches that they're making. Can I just say that Mary Kay sells 3 sales today for the stuff and 2 just in the last hour? That's awesome. Yeah, when you guys start finding little like brands or niches that start to sell well for you, like go in on that. That's why I started going in on electronics, because I've always kind of sold electronics in the past. And then I try to focus on categories like shoes. Like I still sell shoes. I still sell shoes, but electronics are like my game. I love those. So yeah, when you find stuff that works for you, go in on it and just figure out how you can keep finding more of it. Having a consistent supply of the same stuff is the hardest part of this game, because you can go to Goodwills and find this kind of stuff all day long, but they're always one-offs. The hard part is, how can I find a consistent source? Ultimately, I want it coming to me. I don't want to have to go drive to get it. So that's the hardest game that you're going to play. Where would I get an invoice to get ungated to sell Nike? You won't find one. Again, I've mentioned it several times. The bigger the brand, the harder it's going to be to find a legit distributor that's going to carry that brand. Nike is going to be one of the hardest ones. I have yet to hear of anyone that finds a legit Nike distributor that uses an invoice. The only way you're going to get ungated in Nike without an invoice is, one, you have to buy another business that has an Amazon account that is ungated, or 2, you have to keep selling other things and get your metrics up and show a good history and then apply, and you might get auto approved. I've seen that happen a couple times. Is thrifting more profitable in high-end neighborhoods, or do you get better prices in lower income neighborhoods? That is an excellent question, and I hate the answer to it because I had to learn this one myself. It is a double-edged sword because, it's going to vary state to state, region to region. In our area, if we go to the high-end neighborhoods, they may have higher-end stuff, but guess what? It comes with higher prices. So it's almost the same ratio as if I went to a lower income neighborhood and I found lower end items, but I'm getting them so cheap, like the ratio is the same. Does that make sense? So I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, you got to play with both and find which one in your area, because your area is different than mine. Do both, and you'll see in your area which one is worth it. I mean, ultimately, you find that middle ground between the two where it's like it's a reasonable price and you can still make a profit. That's like your sweet spot right in between. Did I source any when I came up to DC? If so, what did you think about our area? I literally did 0 sourcing in DC. I wanted to so bad. We were up there and we stayed in Airbnb with like 10 family members. And I did not want to be a prick and just like leave the house to go do business. Because here's the reality, right? Most of your family will never understand fully what you do. And even our family, both sides of our families right now, my wife and I, they still don't completely understand like what we do. So I would look like a prick if I just straight up left the family house and the family time to go work, is how they view it. So there's no way I was going to do that. And plus I needed a mental break. Like we had a crazy Q4 and it was great. It was a lot of fun. We made some money, but when I got on that plane on January 3rd, I was just like, mental brain is completely capped. I'm out. Like I took a week off, did not do anything. I think I opened my computer 3 times and that was only to do tactical arbitrage scans. That's it. I placed a few OA orders. That's the only amount of work I did. But I did no sourcing. I did source in Salt Lake City though, and I put it on video. I don't know where it went. There's some electronics around here that I brought home with me in a checked bag. The checked bag costs $30, and I put product in it and brought it home with me. I found a VCR for $1 in Salt Lake City, and I brought it home with me. So with my shipping cost, my checked bag, it probably cost me like $6 total. And there are sold comps and active listings for $200 used. So I'm definitely going to make some money on that one. Oh, that's awesome. Because of your videos are what got us on board properly. Say hi to, is it Geneva? That's great. All right, crew, 6:30 on the dot. And I told you guys earlier, 6:30 was my cutoff time because I'm going to go hang out with my fam. I'm going to go play some Super Smash Bros. With my 4-year-old and crush him with Donkey Kong. Him and I will if you guys are into Super Smash Bros, he is, I don't know why, his favorite character lately is just Donkey Kong. He wants me to be Donkey Kong and he has to be Donkey Kong. There's no other way to do it. So I'll turn on all the computer players and we'll have like 8 Donkey Kongs on the screen just demolishing each other. It's great. If anyone has Super Smash Bros and you want to add me, just shoot me an email. I'll get you my username on there. How far along is Trista? She is going to pass 22 weeks on Saturday. She'll be 22 weeks. Not January. June 1st is the due date. All right, my friends, I'm out. Thank you so much for tuning into our random Q&A session. There was no rhyme or reason for this one. I will say tomorrow, Friday, you guys are going to see us come back on for another Q&A session. We'll bring a topic to the table, so we'll have some bullet points, some actual like education stuff for you guys. But it's not just going to be me. I'll have my sidekick with me. Trista is going to be back in action every Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We will be here live together, both of us, because I know some of you guys don't mind listening to me, but I know some of you guys want to hear Trista's take on this stuff too. So she's going to start coming back into our lives. Switched up our schedule to make that work. So I'm really pumped to be able to start doing consistent content with my wife again, because it's a lot of fun to do this with your spouse. So you guys have an amazing night. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification button if you want to get notified every time we do live, because guess what? We're going to do our every Friday night live together. But sometimes throughout the week, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to flip my camera on and do a Q&A. So if you want to get notified when that happens, which is going to be super random, then definitely hit the notification button. And third, that will be in the Portland area. Shoot me an email for that. I'm making an event page tonight, so you guys can go check all that stuff out. We will also be in